Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. I've got Riley Sykart on with me here today, and it is Thursday, May 29th. The next time we're on here, it will be June. So the calendar's flipping, temperatures are warming up in the U.S., and things are starting to wind down or at least get to the tail end of the growing season in the Safrinha region. In the far north, a harvest underway. And then as you move into the southern portions of the growing region, you're going to have corn that is probably towards the tail end of the pollinating period, Riley. And, well, what's the weather showing us down there?
Well, some cooler temps have some people that in the headlines talking about frost warnings, but as we dig into that, you and I will, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll get to that when we get to that. But
sure,
if you're ready, let's hop right into the maps.
Sounds good.
So like always, first thing I want to do is put into perspective how big of an area this Safrinha crop region is. We're looking at anywhere from Mato Grosso down through Paraná and everywhere in between. Mato Grosso makes up about 50% of the Safrinha crop. And if you throw Mato Grosso onto a U.S. map, you can see that's almost the entire Midwest, and that's only half of the Safrinha crop. So this is a pretty wide area, and you can't just talk about Safrinha in a 1 to 2 sentence answer. So let's hop right into it. Kind of foreshadowed this in the opening. First thing I want to look at, temperatures in the 1 to 5, nothing concerning to the north. To the south, the highs are a little low, and we were curious to see, we saw some headlines talking about potential frost. So I threw in a map that's showing the low temperatures from now through the end of the week. And southern Paraná, you can see some stuff down at that 32 degrees, at that freezing level. But for the most part, I mean, Clint, you and I were just talking about this. Frost at this point is kind of like getting hail. It can ding you, but it's not going to make or break your crop, correct?
Correct. I mean, in an extreme, massive condition, which quite honestly, I've never even experienced in my career, you could do significant freeze damage to a crop that is not fully matured yet. But more often than not, when we do get frost issues, Riley, I do describe it very similar to what you mentioned, like a hailstorm. It's going to come through the area and it might hit low-lying areas in the field, and then the other area of the field will be just fine. You might get frost damage done to you, neighbors just fine. So I don't think this is like any kind of giant problem, and all of a sudden Safrinha corn's going to be down 15% because of frost warnings here today.
Yep, I agree. And if you're looking at these low temperatures too, I mean, it's not telling you, heck, other than southern Paraná, there's not anywhere being forecasted to even be at that freezing level. So overall, definitely not very concerned at this time. So moving into the 6 to 10 day stuff looks to start warming up, including down to the South Sea, temperatures returning more into the 70s and 80s. Still some small areas with lows in the 60s, but not any concern. To the north, we're seeing a lot more warm temperatures, but at their stage, harvest is underway. And if they're not, they're very, very close. So any heat's just helping the crop dry down a little quicker. So not any really temperature-based concerns in the 6 to 10 day either. Last 13 days of rainfall, we can see that as you look south towards that Argentina area, they got that very large rain that you and I talked about on Tuesday down there. But other than that, pretty quiet. Western Mato Grosso ended up catching some rains, but nothing super serious. Surface soil moisture is kind of reflecting that areas have been fairly well watered through all this process, especially in Mato Grosso. They had what they need from about a month and a half ago. They got enough rainfall to get them through growing this crop. So not any super big concerns there. 1 to 5 day precip, some smaller chances to the south. Mato Grosso with some potential spot showers. Overall, at this stage, the moisture, Clint, tell me if I'm wrong here. I think we're getting to the point where moisture is more of an afterthought now with this crop.
In the north, for sure. I would say in the south, it probably still is still a meaningful contribution for portions of it. I'm not quite familiar enough with the area to know. It'd be nice to, as we move on, get some contacts or, be able to investigate a little bit further where we're at. But I would say that it's a diminishing concern. And by the looks of the screen today, I don't think the market's really concerned about it either.
No, I agree. Moving into the 6 to 10 day, that same southern region, that Paranata's southern Mato Grosso do Sul, does have some rain in the forecast there too. So anywhere that maybe could still use rain, looks like they could be getting it. So overall, in the Safrinha standpoint, there's not really any concern. Harvest to the north underway and not a whole lot of rain to stop them. And to the south, they're getting the rain they need to help finish out. So overall, that's all I have from Safrinha today, Clint. Some interesting frost comments that we'll have to look more into next week, but overall, not a national concern and not a overall huge crop affecting potential there. So that's all I have today.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in for Safrinha weather here today. As always, if you check us out at midwestmarketmanagement.net, we've got a lot of other resources there. And if you would like to receive these and or our price zone alerts, text message to your phone, just reach out or give us a call. And we'll be back on here Tuesday of next week to let you know how we're getting started with the week. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.